How's it going, everybody? Jamie Monroe here. Really excited to bring to you Paul Day, the head coach and GM of the Philadelphia Wings, the GM of the Peterborough Lakers. He has been at the helm of 2 Mann Cup championships with the Lakers and in the first year with the Philadelphia Wings. Paul, so fired up to have you here talking about box lacrosse offense. Paul, welcome to the Virtual Lacrosse Summit.
Thanks. Anytime I get to talk about box lacrosse or indoor lacrosse, pretty exciting. I love it. And it's a great game that's grown in North America, Europe. Obviously, the National Lacrosse League are pretty excited to be back in Philadelphia. We had a big year in Philadelphia with LaxCon and also the National Championship, the NCAA, coming in May. So it's a good year for lacrosse in Philadelphia.
Philadelphia is an unbelievable lacrosse city, and it's so amazing to have pro indoor lacrosse back in Philadelphia after a hiatus of a couple of years.
Yeah, it is. And it's almost 12,000 our first night. Great game. We almost beat the Buffalo Bandits, but lost 17-15. Great night of entertainment in Philadelphia. And, we've got 8 more home games in Philadelphia, which we've been on the road for a little bit, but it's a great lacrosse town. Obviously, I think everybody knows it's a great sports town. And, we're pretty excited to be back entertaining the people of Philadelphia.
Awesome. Well, let's dive into this presentation. I know that you've got a ton of clips from other NLL games, and in particular, a bunch of the Saskatchewan Rush clips. Before we dive in, just give us a quick background on why you chose that and what we're going to be seeing here.
Yeah, I mean the Rush. They've won 3 of the last 4 championships, and their offense it's such a great 5-man unit. I think you hear basketball coaches talk about having, the best 5 players for their team, not the best 5 basketball players, but the best 5. And I think that's the idea of Derek Keenan and Jeff McComb, guys I've known for 40 years. That's the type of offense they've run with the Whitby Warriors, a junior lacrosse team. Mark Matthews and a lot of their players have played for great success in the past years in Edmonton with the Rush, and then they moved to Saskatoon, and now there's a Saskatchewan Rush. People have fun time saying that, but fantastic building. They filled the joint every night. It's unbelievable. If you ever get a chance, you want to go see a game and you're in Western Canada, it's a great place to see a game. So, but their offense is very dynamic, but it's very methodical. We talk a lot in video about we're fast between the lines, and that's between the restraint lines. And then offensive and defensively, you want to get to your own speed and play at whatever pace you want to play. We slow it down. And I think with the NCAA and the shot clock coming back in, coaches outdoor are going to probably want to, take some ideas from the box game on how to use the 30-second clock on resets. But they're a team that they're very dynamic, but they're very methodical, and they've had a lot of success, and they're tough to stop. And when we started with the Wings this year, this is video that we showed that we want our players to kind of play this way. And here's 5 guys playing in a certain system, but obviously you want to be able to be athletic and shoot the ball and be dynamic and beat your man one-on-one, but there has to be spacing, there has to be a system, and I think they're one of the best in the league. Georgia Swarm are also up there. They're the same, Rochester Nighthawks, Buffalo Bandits, but the Saskatoon Rush are the defending champs, and this is one reason.
Yeah, well, we're going to get into the film in a second. I just want to highlight something you said, because I think it's so important for all the coaches that are listening out here, is that you want to have the best players, but it's more about the best players that play well together. And like half this team grew up playing, like you referred to, probably for Derek Keenan, Junior A lacrosse in Whitby, and then a big group played in Coquitlam. I had to throw that in there since I'm an Adanac fan. But truthfully, the Adanacs play a very similar style of moving the ball, and Mark Matthews was the common denominator because he won a Minto with Whitby and a Minto with the Adanacs, and might have won 2 with Whitby, in fact. So the amazing thing is the way these guys share the ball, and while they may have a lot of great players, they also have these guys that just know how to play, and so I think that's one of the things that you're stressing that I just want to make sure everyone understands. It's it's just a matter of IQ and sharing the ball as much as it is, pure ability and skill.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for box lacrosse or any lacrosse, it's the off ball. Off ball matters so much indoor, and I think that's what the Rush do so well off ball. They're always moving, they're setting picks, but the video will show how good they are off ball. But they have a plan off ball as well, and that's obviously to complement the two-man game, but get them open off ball, and you can see it every play, and it's hard to stop. You can never double a guy off ball. So when I talk to kids young age in box lacrosse, I talk the good players play with the ball, but the great players play without the ball. And those are the ones you want on your team, is the catch and release quick shot off ball, never getting doubled and never having the ball and it's in and out of your sticks. And those are some great players in the past. And Dan Teat was one of the great off ball players, and obviously his son Jeffrey is one of the next best players. Going to be unbelievable to watch. He's good with and without the ball, but there's been a lot of guys that Kurt Molosky, who ran that Coquitlam offense for a while, played for me for about 6 years in Rochester, and unbelievable off ball. And I think those are some of the guys that you really want on your team. And young guys, John Grant, Tracy Koleski, John Tavares, they all got better without the ball. They were all great coming out of junior A with the ball, but they wanted to be great players. They had to be better without the ball. And that kind of comes with maturity.
Yeah, people don't realize, the beauty of box lacrosse is that it's truly a feeding and picking and cutting and off-ball game. And, field lacrosse is really more of a clear space, dodge and dump, draw slides and move it. And when you can blend those two things together, for you field coaches out there, that's what hopefully you can get from this. And for you box lacrosse coaches, well, get ready to enjoy some great instruction on one of the best offenses in the world. So with that, let's get into it. All right, let's go to the film. We got Saskatoon versus the Nighthawks of Rochester, Game 3 of last year's final.
Here we go. So a lot of times we talk in box about playing between the restraining lines, playing fast. The Rush we say they have the best offense in the league, the best spacing and the best off-ball play, and that's why we're going to review them right now. Two guys through the middle, it's so key to open up the floor and open up the middle, the prime scoring area, and draw guys back. So you see we engage through the middle with speed. You're going to take some contact in the box game, no big deal. And you're going to get deep and get the defense spread. It's similar to basketball. Great spacing. That's this team. You see the numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all engaged with their D guys. They get deep. The ball gets deep. The great thing with that is you watch the goaltender there. He has to turn his head. And all the D guys have to turn their heads towards the ball. When the ball's out at X at the top of the floor, which we'll see in a minute here, everybody can face the ball. The game's easy when the ball's high. But when the ball's low, it makes it difficult on the defenders, and it makes it difficult on the goaltender. So we like to talk about throwing the ball through X. Obviously, the outdoor game, the field game, X behind the net. Well, for us, it's just reversed. It's out high. We got great spacing right now. We don't want to throw the ball from boards to boards because they'll get picked off in transition and you'll go the other way. But you see the two righties, the left side of the screen, nice spacing. You see Mark Matthews controlling the offense. He's going to throw down low. You can have a pick off of it, or you can have basically a slip pick. 25 is going to engage. Great spacing off ball. The 3 D guys are engaged, and opposite here, where this area here, the referee is, he's cleared that space out to take the slide away from it. So he can set up here. He's got lots of space. 25 and get underneath and get a good shot if he gets his hands free. Watch what happens. Great thing is the ball's lower than the guy who's catching it. The passer's lower. 77 catches it. It's in the air. He's already facing the net. Quick release.
Quick comment on that is that his backhand pass and the reach of that pass is what really gave him the angle too, correct?
That's right. And there wasn't even a pick on that play.
So, Paul, I have a question here. Matthews passes it down, and you're talking about that there wasn't really a pick, which there wasn't, but there was definitely a threat of a pick. Would you call that some sort of a slip? How did they make that work? Because it's like, I think that they were expecting that maybe there was going to be an up pick, and then he kind of slipped out of there. What would you call that? What is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, you could call it a slip or a loop. In Rochester with Mike Kersey years ago, we used to run a loop, but you expect that pick coming, and you just need that quick second, because the D guy here, we call it split and hold. So the back guy closest to the crease, he split and holds. So he can't totally engage as the ball comes to the net. He's got to take underneath away. And we talk about, if you don't get underneath, you can't get over top. Well, if you don't get over top, you can't get underneath. So you've got to be doing both things. So he has to almost split and hold. So he's basically splitting the two offensive players at the back, which means he totally can't engage with 77 here. So if he gains top side, then he can totally engage with 77. But as he creeps down here, he's not driving that supersonic here. He's just setting up a flip pass that obviously these guys have chemistry. It's June. They've been playing together forever. And I think that's the key on this. You see how he just kind of loops out of it. A little slow motion here.
It's really interesting because, I mean, basically the on-ball defender is expecting the help, and they're kind of expecting there might be a pick. And then when he gets out of there, the help still has to show and help a little bit. Otherwise, he's going to get right to the goal. So that creates that 2-on-1 right there, and a beautiful, as you call it, flip pass.
And this is principle here is he has to stay on his back so that he can't come backside. And he's got a pretty good opportunity to shoot here too. That's the reason.
Yeah, great. Well, I think it's great because, I mean, it shows that two-man game doesn't always involve a pick. And it's just a really interesting clip and a beautiful pass and finish, left to left.
Quick release, yeah. And this next clip is more about transition and shooting, about keeping that stick high by the ear. So you got a bunch of D guys stuck playing defense, which more importantly, this clip here. Keep his feet moving towards the net in transition. Look at that stick, nice and high here at the ears. He can shoot, he can pull out, he can pass to 42, whatever happens, but his feet are moving towards the net. So he puts himself in a pretty good angle. He can shoot at every corner here. 5-hole, top cheese, 6, or he can pass to 42. Gives him a quick pump and shoots. That quick pump also set up a pass to 42 if he wants.
Put that back one more time and let us see from the right before he receives the ball. Awesome position. I mean, the thing about box lacrosse too is just that the fundamentals of that position right there is really what you see out of every single box lacrosse player. And their stick is in what I call a collarbone position, by the ear. And it's just a loaded position where it's quick release and accurate. You can dodge, feed, shoot from that position. And it's just so fundamentally overhand. It's amazing.
It is. Yeah. I mean, in the small confines of that net, if he drops the stick low, unless he's able to pull at top corners, but here he can shoot at every angle. And the way he moves his feet, if he stopped there, then he doesn't really give 42, doesn't give Matthews a chance to get the pass, but he keeps moving away from Matthews and, kind of creates a bit of an angle so that he gives Matt, you watch the slow pump he gives Matt Vince, that sets up Matthews too, if he doesn't shoot that.
Wow.
That one little pump short side takes him off his far pipe a little bit.
Amazing. So who scored that?
McIntosh. So another key, on the bench, you're always communicating, but the crowds are so big in indoor, in the National Lacrosse League, a lot of nights you can't hear each other, but good communication, right? From Mark Matthews coming on the floor saying, keep the ball over there. Don't pass it to me. Keep it over there. That's kind of a principle in the indoor game, is keep it away from the bench, because this area here, can be quite chaotic. We've got 10 guys changing, so we want to keep the ball away from here, because you could have 2 or 3 of your own teammates checked by one. So he's telling them, keep the ball over there. We've got something set up. So a little non-verbal communication. And again, play a little slow, get 24 seconds, play fast between the lines, take our time once we get the ball in the offensive end. And it's funny, when we do combines in the NLL with, young U.S. guys coming out of college, the game is so fast. There is a 30-second clock, but I mean, NCAA coaches, the more ball control they have, even with the shot clock, the better their offense will be. And you want to play to your pace once you gain the zone. And it's 5-on-5 offense. It's not transition shooting. So I think that's the key, is you watch how methodical they are. They're very dynamic, but they're very methodical. Again, the ball gets out to X. 25 clears through. 9 clears through. You see him clearing through. Even that's his wrong side. We say it's his wrong side. He wants to get over here. But he clears through with speed, clears through behind the net to clear this space here. The more space gets cleared, the more opportunity you get to shoot. You see that funnel of space that he just cleared through?
Yeah.
This defender here has to step up. He's almost got a chase to the ball. And this is a great thing about U.S. players coming indoor. He catches this ball attacking. It's a great time for a face dodge and shoot. He's in a bad position. Look at his one leg here, right? He's not set to check. He's got to kind of chase. Quick release. And that's the big thing I've been talking to Matt Rambo this year about this, is the difficulty thing about an NCAA player coming to play indoor for the defensive guys. They don't play like a Canadian. And I tell Matt Rambo and new guys, don't play like a Canadian. They're used to playing against Canadian. Don't be a box guy. Yeah, there's certain things you're going to have to learn, pick and roll, but use your outdoor skills and your innate ability to beat people, because we're not used to guys, dodging the way that a guy comes from the NCAA dodges. We don't really have dodgers, pickers and feeders. We have some guys that beat you with speed, but yeah, if you're a dodger, dodge indoor, because it messes up the defense. Again, just that face dodge, take them underneath, get position, reach around. The key with that is everybody else clearing space for him.
Yeah, he had the space to go, and the key was the reach.
Yeah, big time. Again, another one in transition just from the ear. And we say mid-range here. He'll shoot the ball. You don't want to get too close to the crease. You want to shoot that ball kind of mid-range, 5 to 7 yards from the net, because that's your best angle on the goaltender. Keep the stick high. Show it again.
That's a concept that is a little counterintuitive. You think you want to get closer and closer and closer, but and there's a time and place when you're going to have to reach around a goalie and come across. But if you're coming straight down to shoot it mid-range, you can see more net than if you get too close. All of a sudden, you can't see anything. Correct?
That's right. Like, that's a bit farther out, just because he's got someone on him. But the closer you get here, the goalie gets backs in, and you can dive and reach around, but there's not a lot of space there. Just watch where his stick is. Right at his ear.
Yep.
Because he could shoot that low at his hip, at his knee. Those are, that's what we want to see. Now we're going to get in a little more 5-on-5, these next clips.
Beauty. clearing it up the off-bench side in field lacrosse is just as important as box lacrosse. There's so much traffic. You always want to clear it up the off-bench, not try to clear it up the bench side in any sport.
Yeah. I mean, there'll be times we do it indoor just because they'll put such press on. If we know a team's doing that, then early on we'll actually bring it up the middle of the floor or same bench, D to D kind of hockey style.
Yep.
But watch the subtle little bump. 32, he knows 83's engaged him. Frank Brown's engaged him. And 32's just going to slowly slow down so he creates space. He kind of just doesn't even bump the guy, but that subtle little stop clears space for 77 coming off a change.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And that kind of prime scoring area. And shooting off a swing here, catch and ripping the ball key. As soon as he catches it, he's loading it. Now we're going low to high. Right? And tough shot, it's off a swing. Goaltender doesn't get set at all. It's coming across. But a subtle movement to open up the middle of the floor on a change.
And a swing, by your definition, is when the ball goes from boards to boards?
Yeah, boards to boards. From lefty to righty or righty to lefty, and shooting right is basically as soon as you get it. So now we're into 5-on-5 with these guys, and they're the best at it. We saw one of them where they don't set a pick. Now we're going to see multiple up picks or back picks or, for basketball people, backdoor picks and a few front door picks. 9. Passes, catches it from the D guy, passes it low, and he's going to cut through X, which is great. Clears the middle again. Just get through, clear the middle. All night long if you can clear the middle.
How important is it just to make that one play of giving it and then cutting hard and clearing the middle?
I mean, it's the first thing we learned in Phi-Lacrosse in Peterborough. That your job, if you have the ball at the top, is pass to either side and cut the middle and clear it out. And, you got pretty good area here. Jeff Shatler's setting this pick. For the guys who play indoor, you'll see, we want you to, Tracy Kluski, our offensive coach, will talk about don't run by it. A lot of times they'll bump this pick and go. We want you to actually set, look at his feet. They're wide. He's setting a seal here. He's setting a pick, seal, whatever you want to call it. And he's setting it on this inside shoulder so that if he does get top side, front door, he can shoot around this screen. If he sets it on his outside shoulder, outside to the boards, this guy just steps up and takes that away. But it's a difficult position for a D, but that's a great kind of seal there. And it's not a big cross check like you see sometimes. It's just a seal.
Yep.
In indoor or box, they call that, it's equal pressure. Both guys are putting equal pressure there.
Yeah.
The key to this, though, is their off-ball work. $90. Good spacing, great spacing. You see one in the corner, one here, 2 here, 3 high, 4 and 5. Great spacing again. So he can engage low. He can pass it back for a 2-man game, but we got the whole middle of the floor open. One cut, one swing. And watch what he does here. Throws the ball low. No big deal what he does throwing the ball low. It's what happens after. He knows he's gaining here. He knows as this ball goes from here to here, all defenders have to give their back up. They'll all turn to the ball. I'm gonna slow play this. Watch 90. This is key. Up pick, nice and slow. He's going to up pick him. He's going to flash the middle. This guy's going backside. And it's all as the ball's being swung from the righties to the lefties. For the outdoor guys, it's the left side of the field going to the right side, but it's the right-handed shot into the left-handed shots. Swings it, And it's to basically keep your guys off ball engaged. But they're open on this play. Cut through, clear the middle, bump pick, shot.
Such great offense.
Everybody's busy.
Everybody's busy.
So basically 90's open there, but he keeps everybody engaged. 25 sets that nice just bump pick. Nothing hard about that. Front door.
A couple thoughts. Put it back one more time, even from the beginning of the possession. So in field lacrosse, everybody has a tendency to like clear space when they see a dodger, clear out for a dodger. And this is a little different. It's the same in the sense he's clearing space, but he's just clearing space by his cut where the offense can decide to dodge or not. The second thing is that everyone thinks about setting picks for on the ball, but here they're picking their own man. And that is, a really important concept because he's sealing space off. And so, you've already said this, but I'm just telling coaches that are trying to teach two-man game that this is one of the easiest reads for a young player to understand is that when I seal my own man off, there's space behind me.
Yeah, and if he 77 goes and picks 83 Frank Brown here, then it's just an easy switch. Seal your guy, make it difficult on him to get around.
Yeah. It works in field just as well. I mean, it's an amazing play. And then you got a nice little exchange out top. You take it low. Now watch the backside action going on as he's doing this pass down. You're going to see this player out top picking his own man first. It's sort of like a pick in a cycle, but then he realizes I got to go over and pick the other guy, and he essentially picked off both guys.
Yep, absolutely.
Second guy second. That little action you showed right there, back it right up one more time, that got 90 open is so awesome. So what is it? The picker comes down. The passer comes down, sets a pick on the pass down, pick down, and immediately on the up pick there. That's just incredible action. Is that scripted or just natural?
That's scripted for them. That's what they run all the time. But the video we did this week that I sent our guys was we have to be better at you cut and then come back and set a pick. We have to be much better at that. And these guys are the best at it. He kind of cuts like he's going to set a ball low, and they just come right back and set the up pick.
They might have been able to feed the slip on that one too. All the hitches too. Back that one more thing up. It's so cool to watch Canadians with the way he comes off that last pick for the shot. He's like, I call it a multiple hitch or double hitch, but he's kind of catching and he's hitching all the way across, which is freezing everybody.
Yeah.
So like right here he hitches, there he hitches again, there he hitches, and he's just waiting to get into his space.
Yeah.
Awesome clips.
Pretty fun environment, that building.
I bet.
Robert Church bringing the ball up, and this kid can play. Pick, shoot, pass. So again, the exact same kind of setup. As the ball gets swung, they know, okay. And the key here, it's not just the picker. Watch Robert Church. He's stationary. He's setting his guy up. I'm going to take a hit, but my guy is going to get picked. A lot of times guys will kind of float into this and float out of it. As a little kid in Peterborough, 10, 11, 12 years old, we were taught, hold this, 1, 2. You're getting hit, but hold it. This guy's going to set it, 1, 2. But he's got to stay stationary to take that hit. And that's the key to set up any pick. You got to have the greatest pick. If this guy's already gone, so is his D guy. He gets the ball and he scores, but
he was open. Church was open.
Most of the time, it's going to be the second man. We say the second man's open. The first guy's the one setting it, and the second man's the one that gets open.
Would you call this a pick the picker type of offense? If you rewind that one more time.
Boom. They're the best off ball physically too.
Yeah.
That's a physical pick. It's not totally physical, but it's definitely a push-off.
Yeah. You got to be on that borderline of not getting called, but clearing some space, right?
Yeah. I mean, hell of a backhand too. Obviously pretty great play, but the funny thing is 17's wide open more than Churchy's wide open more than the other guy. Again, nice patience. Just watch this team. Like, they're patient. You know, you look at the time of this game here. Fourth quarter, and defensively, everybody's been worried about guys getting topside. You saw Shatler score 2 topside. So the D guys are worried about topside. And generally, remember early on, we saw the Saskatoon rush. They set up deep in these corners.
Yeah.
They were really deep in these corners. So defensively, you should almost think, okay, why are they so shallow? They're so up here at the string line. Because they probably want to get underneath.
Right.
See on the shot clock. And I tell our guys, I like this. We have 2 lines of defense. Don't be afraid of early changes when they're expecting pass. Just take the ball underneath, see what happens early.
Yep.
They don't even set up a really pick here. It's just kind of, okay, it's a good one-on-one matchup. And the opposite side, again, we saw this on the first clip, cleared out. So there's no slide across. So probably on the bench, you say, we got a one-on-one. We're going to set up a one-on-one off bench side, clear that out, get off there so we can get underneath.
Paul, is it kind of like at times you want to get the ball, you said early on, we want to get the ball deep so we can make them turn their heads. And here we're talking about bringing people up high and creating almost like a high offense that obviously, gives you chances to get under. And so those are 2 sort of different looks within, regular offenses, is sometimes get it deep and sometimes bring everybody high. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we talked about it earlier. If we don't get underneath, you can't get over top. And it's the same. I mean, as the game goes on, your offense has to change. Just one thing for the box people here you'll see is most goaltenders in our league or any league, as the guy dives, the goaltender goes hard across. So you see him, he kind of puts it in short side, which is a good look. Like Vince is going hard across, kind of hard. He thinks a guy diving, it's going to be for sure far side. And he brings it back, McIntosh brings it back short side. And that's key. Another good patience by this group. Nice shooting through a screen, right? Nice shot through a screen. We can go back. I'll go back and play that off a change. He engages. Looks like he's going to go to the net. Right off that. It's a great save.
So he shot it. The righty initially had the ball, shot a screenshot.
Yeah, the righty's got it. And right there, he's just shooting it right off the swing as we talked earlier. The goaltender's got to come across quick. That's a tough save.
Yeah.
And obviously, good save by Vince. Far side, too. That's a beauty. Hits the post or whatever you want to call it. Save.
Paul, that one shot, is, in box lacrosse, it's a huge emphasis to try to get the goalie to move because it's one of the easiest ways to score is right to score. And in field lacrosse, so often people catch and cradle a couple of times, and it's just one of the habits that you have to have in box is, you got to shoot it and release it before the goalie can get set. And what a great environment that is to learn that skill. It definitely would transpose to field lacrosse as well. That quick release, no cradle before the goalie is set.
And it's usually from the overhand. Catch, release, overhand. That's what you try to teach kids. And if you could teach kids at a young age to shoot at hips rather than top corners, they all want to hit the top corners, but shoot at hips and knees, that's where most of the goals go in. So off a reset, you see the clock, 28. It's great.
Yep.
12-10 game, 6 minutes left. You want to use a lot of this, but you get another opportunity. Most of the time we say in box lacrosse, if you don't score here, one of these guys is probably taking a holding penalty late in the fourth quarter. Nice and patient again, no hurry. Get everybody back to good spacing. You see Matthews actually pointing to the other side. Get the spacing. One thing I like here, as you gain topside, so front door pick, he gains topside. This ball carrier needs to be lower than him. If he stays here, this guy stays and waits, this defender takes a couple steps in here and kind of clogs it up. But as he cuts, he can exchange with him. Or if he beats his man topside, this guy's cutting, then number 3, Billy D. Smith, has to make a decision. Do I leave my man, thinking that Mark Matthews has already beat 2, turn the corner to the net? 3's got to make a decision. And he's got to be lower than Mark Matthews. But we'll let it play out here. Nothing major here. Up pick, off ball. We've talked about this all, right? Nice quick up pick. He's sealing his own man. Got a pretty good shooting opportunity, and we got off ball.
I feel like that off ball up pick and slip to the middle, if you have a hard, dangerous cut down the backside, is one of the hardest things to guard. You don't see this happen much in field lacrosse, and I always wonder why, because I think that look right there is something that if you built into a field offense, I think you'd get looks, but it's just an amazingly hard to cover situation.
Especially man up. If it's 5-on-4 here, man up. Teams that do this when they're on the power play, and this guy usually gets wide open on the power play because they can only cover a few guys. That's a perfect shooting position, right? Mid-range, off a swing, catch. He double pumps it a little bit.
Yeah.
So, pretty good opportunity.
Nice feed too. It was a really kind of quick release, subtly bought a little bit of time for the shooter.
Yeah, and the next time maybe the guy shoots the ball. That's
right.
The guy who made the feed, it was still a really good
opportunity for him.
Really good chance shooting. Like that's a mid-range shot through a screen. We'll take those all day long. Great. Look at someone cut through, 17 cut through. He's down low, Church. We got great spacing. Middle's wide open. Oh, and that's where the feed came from last time, the shift before. Well, they probably talked on the bench. Pretty good opportunity here. We seal your own man. We can shoot around a screen.
Put that one back. Got to see that one.
I like how he comes out of the corner, kind of steps up, feet towards the net, and then shoots it from there.
Why was the defender so soft in that situation as he's catching and carrying up?
I think he thinks he's going to it's because it's Eric Fennell, an offensive player.
Oh, there you go.
But he probably thought he was going to, so he's kind of soft on him. A bit of a switch there.
It was a bit of a switch. There it is.
Yeah. And he was a goalie, so he's trying to save it. Fennell at one time.
He was a pretty good goalie, too.
He was very good. But it's a good shot around a screen, mid-range. Goaltender's probably not expecting it. 5 seconds on the shot clock.
Do you notice a little hesitations that the shooter uses? He doesn't just catch and shoot. So it's amazing to sort of see the difference between, that quick release that we referred to earlier and then pauses and hesitations and hitches.
Yeah. That little pump.
Yeah. One.
And you see where he's bouncing it right there.
Do you think that sometimes that little pump allows you to find your screen a little bit better rather than just shooting? I feel like a lot of it, when I try to teach screen shooting to Americans, they hit the screen a lot And if they would pump it early, they can sort of settle that defender down and they can find their strength.
Yeah, and when you pump it too, you can see what the defender might take a step towards you, and then you can run around him.
Right. Yeah.
We do one of those drills off swing shooting where you catch it, pump it, face dodge, go around, shoot mid-range where we want it anyways. I think that's all the clips. That's all the clips, Jamie.
Great. Awesome. Paul, that was amazing. I literally could do this with you all day. I would love to do it again with you sometime. I have watched a lot of box lacrosse and I kind of understand all these parts, but I've never, really had someone do this, which is break down 5-on-5 and the X's and the O's and explaining it in the context of trying to win a game, the context of, how, setting one thing up from one situation to the other. And I found it incredibly interesting and really helpful. And I feel like I have a better understanding of box lacrosse now. So I really appreciate that. I hope our listeners did too. Good luck this weekend. Who do you guys have?
We've got Georgia at home, so the best team in the East right now. But it's such a great league. Every game, we lost in overtime to Toronto last week on a, last minute, 2 not great plays by us. But we're a young team, and clock management's something we learned this week, so it's something positive. We had an awesome team effort, and I love doing these. This talking about box lacrosse for me, every time I watch this, and even though I'm the one that did the telestrations, you start talking and I learn more. You can't stop learning. It's my 27th year in the National Lacrosse League, and I hope to get 10 more. So I love this. I love the game, and I love watching the field game and learning from that. I'm going to do some on-floor demonstrations at LaxCon this weekend in Philadelphia as well. So should be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, Paul, again, thank you so much. Best of luck. Would love to do this again with you sometime. Have a great season. And again, thanks for sharing all your knowledge and have a great day.
Thanks, bud. Take care.
All right, man. Take care.